What's the difference between a boy and a girl? Right? What's the difference? Not a trick question. What's the difference between a Boy Scout and a Girl Scout? Right. Not typically a trick question. By the way, show your hands on the panel if you're a boy on this panel.
Oh, thank God.
Raise your hand.
That's what I thought.
If you're a girl on this panel.
I'm a woman.
Okay. Is there anybody here that identifies as both?
None of us are mentally ill.
Okay, none of us are mentally ill. Great.
Thank God.
So, I don't know if you saw the news.
Scouting America.
The Boy Scouts are now officially transitioning for a much more inclusive name called Scouting America.
It's just so sad.
This is a Valuetainment article, VT.com. Check it out.
Awesome.
The Boy Scouts now officially announced the name. They're changing their name for the first time in not 10, not 20, not 50, not 100. For the first time in 114 years. What are you doing out there, Scouts? To the gender-neutral title of Scouting America. Unbelievable. In the hopes of, you ready for it? You knew this was coming. In the hopes of becoming more welcoming and inclusive. The title no longer Boy Scouts. Hope will encourage young scouts to be who they feel they are. Unbelievable. Part of the organization's mission is to welcome every youth in America to experience the benefits of scouting. The Scouts opened its ranks to female scouts in 2017 with more than 176,000 girls enrolled. Josie, it's my understanding that you fled Massachusetts to Florida because the schools then, this was a few years ago during COVID 2022, I believe, they were pushing all the her, he, she, them, they, their, all that stuff. The woke, lesbian, LGBTQIA plus agenda to your daughter at the time.
Yes.
Make some sense of what's going on here with the Scouts.
So I'm raising a tomboy. And so she was being they-them'd by some adults in her life. And she wasn't comfortable with that, because she knew very well that she was a girl. But these, so I raised her well, you know, and it's parenting is what does it. So she wasn't aware of this.
By that,
She wasn't manipulated by it. She was just, what's going on? And then at the same time, there were friends that were trying to say she was gay, and she was 10, and she's like, she was confused by all of this, you know, and so this is something, you know, on top of all the COVID stuff, because they were also talking about masking only unvaccinated children and stuff like that. And I didn't COVID vax my children. So it was just everything that got me to be like, all right, I can't be here anymore. I can't raise my kids here anymore. You know, come to Florida. There's no social contagion. Not in my kids' school. I went to the best. I vetted everything before I moved to where I moved. So it didn't happen here. She's well adjusted. You know, she's still a tomboy. She's awesome. She just made regionals for track because she's incredible. She as a freshman. So, you know, just girls. So also to this point, Title IX, as I had brought up earlier. So Title IX protected girls from losing scholarships to boys, losing benefits to boys, like being able to play on an equal playing field is what Title IX did, because girls and boys are different, physically different. So of the fastest man and the fastest woman to ever exist, there's like a 10% difference in how fast they are. Men have a larger lung capacity. Men have larger muscles. Men have larger... their legs can go farther when they run.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Bone density, that's a big one. So everything that they do athletically related is stronger, faster, better than what a girl can do. So what the Biden administration did is they took sex and replaced it with gender, which is completely made up. There's no genders.
Love that article about the secretary. Keep talking. Go ahead.
Okay. So what he did, he gutted Title IX, and he made it so that boys and girls can play. Now, the states have the rights. As you're saying, I think 15 states are suing the Biden regime for this.
Wow. The Biden education secretary refuses to say if he would let boys fight his own daughter and undress in front of her. You know what's weird?
Yes.
That's a
when you won't
father.
answer that in front of your own kid, like, what?
That's
So
this has to do
father.
with Title IX.
This goes back to states' rights, the 10th Amendment, and the states can say, I am not abiding by this. Now, what the Biden regime can do is they can withhold funding from the states if they do this. So that's why the states are teaming up and they are suing the Biden regime for doing this, because they're doing it under the guise of equal protection. But they're doing it under imaginary equal protection, because gender is not real. It's you're a boy or you're a girl. You can, there's not 125 genders. So equal protection truly is grounded at its roots, man, woman, boy, girl, male, female. It is not Zer, Zay, Zem. All of that's made up.
You're not a cis woman?
No.
Cis woman?
No, cis
You're
is a slur.
You're not a birthing person, you're just a mother?
No, and that's so offensive.
What kind of?
So they've taken this regime who is, you know, as I said, women's rights. That's what they do. That's what they're known for. They have taken female language out of bills. They have made us birthing people in uterus havers, you know, and
chest feeders.
Have you been a libertarian your whole life?
I have. I didn't really know what I was until 2012.
Did you ever vote Democrat?
No, I've never my whole life.
Gotcha.
I never knew who I was.
Did you ever vote Democrat your whole life?
Never. When I was 17, I registered to vote. 18, I voted for my first
Did you
Republican.
ever vote Democrat?
No.
Okay.
I
Did you vote for Obama?
I don't think I was old enough to vote for Obama, but I wanted him to win because,
But
that work out for you?
By the way,
Not
there's
good.
nothing wrong with
but
this.
I didn't know anything back
The
then.
only thing wrong is continuing to double down on bad policies and bad ideas. No, I'm a Democrat for life. That's it. By the way, if you were a Republican in 2008, after 9/11, whatever George W. Bush did, there's a lot of people who be like, no, I get why you wouldn't want to vote for Republican again. John McCain, I get it. But to double down on horrible policies, this type of stuff infuriates people with common sense. What do you mean you want my kid to be a they, them, his, hers, this gender? What is
All they had to do was come for the children.
Yeah.
As soon
you
as
see
they
what they're
came for
doing
the
in Florida?
children.
And I want to get to Pedrino.
Yeah.
In Florida, Ron DeSantis says we will not stand by this decision. Florida sues the Biden administration to block the new trans healthcare rule. This had to do with the Title IX that you're talking about this. Pedrino, you're in Florida. You got two kids, a boy and a girl?
Two girls.
Two girls. What have you dealt with?
Let them call them theys or whatever. Oh, that would be the day.
Yep.
No, again, my kids go to a private Christian school. Does not mean that that's perfect, but it's definitely not coming from the teachers, and hopefully not from their peers. That's the thing. As parents, we have to be super aware of who their friends are, and you know, I'm friends with the parents of the friends. But the same way Title IX is going to destroy women's sports, and you're just going to see the demise of women's sports, Scouting America and allowing girls, which they're saying they're allowing girls, but they're really allowing all the things in. And you know, drag queens are going to have sleepovers and camp in the same tents as little boys. I mean, it's going to be out of control. So it's so sad that after 114 years, this beautiful establishment that was like part of like American culture is now, I mean, truly, let's put the countdown. When did this pass? Like yesterday? Starting, May 8th till, let's see when this thing actually falls apart. It's got a very short lifespan from now on.
Final word, Josie.
I was going to say, I have girls, you have girls. We know the importance of girls' spaces, but when it comes to Scouting America, there's importance in boys' spaces too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so we talk a lot about girls because that's what's under, they're not changing the male language, they're changing the woman language.
Yeah.
And it's the women who aren't benefiting, it's the women who are going to lose their scholarships and have to undress in front of males. And, you know, the worst part about that Title IX bill, if any of us are uncomfortable with that, we can be sued for harassment.
Yeah.
If a man undresses in front of us. Yep.
Well, let me tell you something. You know who probably the most important people in America are these days? Women just like you. Because I don't see men being like, sure, let my kid chop his thing off, transition, I'm good with it. I don't see a lot of men doing that. It's women, specifically liberal, progressive women, and they oftentimes don't want to hear from a man. Don't tell me what to do, whatever. But when they hear from pretty, feminine, smart women with children, your voice is so important. You're so important because we did a video on PBD the other day. It was crazy. Remember this video? It was a woman interviewing an 80-year-old grandma.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
And she said, hey, are you comfortable with your son transitioning to a girl? Yes, of course I am. Of course.
Your grandkid.
Your grandkid.
Getting puberty blockers.
Puberty blockers.
Because
thank you.
God forbid that they have to go through female puberty if they didn't want to.
Correct.
Pan to, sorry, can I do the story?
Yes, go ahead.
2 seconds later, like in the same breath, she goes, so what do you think about your grandkid getting a tattoo?
Tattoos. I would never.
Oh, that's a little permanent.
Yeah.
The girl's like,
yes.
permanent? you're gonna block your grandkid from going through puberty. But a tattoo, yeah, because the lasers are really hard to get off. I mean, we've officially lost
the cognitive dissonance in this story is so beyond me. Puberty blockers, changing sex.
No,
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Cool.
Tattoo.
Are you
I
nuts?
would never.
That's crazy.
That's permanent.
Puberty.
But this is why you guys are so important. Keep speaking about this issue. It's super important here. I'll tell you two things. In my experience, when I grew up, there were 3 girls that were like the tomboys. One ended up turning into, she just liked playing baseball with the boys. She ended up turning out to a beautiful girl. And we were actually friends. She was like, she dated one of my buddies. Beautiful girl. She's married with kids now. Thank God she didn't transition. Another girl, today she'd be he, they, them, trans, whatever. Now she's just a full-on lesbian. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. The third one is actually the wildest thing. This was in the mid-90s. She was actually neighbor like 3 houses down. Breaking news, the news showed up on my block. So-and-so, I don't want to say her name, it's a girl, wants to be a Boy Scout. What? A girl wants to be a Boy Scout? It was crazy. It was insane. The news, she ended up on Oprah. She was the most popular person, not necessarily a good way, this was in the 90s, in our neighborhood, where like so-and-so's sister, she had 2 brothers, wants to be a Boy Scout. This is crazy. Like, now?
Let her in.
Yeah.
Roll out the red carpet.
It's all good.
Good old
No
days.
big deal. All good. So this is a weird time, and I fully think that women, that mothers like you, really got to speak up, because men, sometimes, we're going to be a little bit more disagreeable. You women tend to be a little more agreeable. Speak up. Keep saying your piece. Whoa. If you like that one, click right here to watch the full SOSCAST. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.